Hey, how's it going? So we're going to be looking at some Joker footage from the Netherrealm stream. I'm going to be playing it sort of in the background while I talk about my thoughts and feelings on the Joker and the game in general, and we're going to have a quick mooch through the patch notes. So let's have a quick mosey on. So the Joker, in my opinion, is super cool. I like the fact that he seems to have quite a few special moves, and the variations don't detract from the special moves. So normally with a lot of characters in this game, they'll have one or two special moves, and then a lot of the core special moves that kind of define the character are locked behind a variation paywall, as you call it. But with the Joker, it seems like he's got a pretty nice move set, just as standard. I really like the creativity on his normals. I like the fact that he's got a mix-up game. The wheelchair guy is hilarious. Um, I'm definitely interested to play MK11 with this type of character because, as I've always said, there's definitely a good core game in MK11, but the gameplay of the characters is just too linear. There's too much stuff that's not available to the player, and the characters are watered down, and that's why people find it boring. The good news is I'm hoping that with the launch of Joker, hopefully he's a big success. Sundell, I would say, was a pretty decent success. I think she had some good variations, good moves overall, nice combos and stuff. I'm hoping that for season 2 of Mortal Kombat 11 that they revisit a lot of the characters, move a lot of the variation moves that are now um, not special moves, and make them special moves just as like baseline, and have very fewer like. So my vision is move a lot of the stuff that's core to a lot of characters to the base move set, and have the variation move list just a lot shorter, and variations might just like add one move, like, to the character, because that's all it needs. Like, so Sub-Zero has a few more sort of specials or whatever. Um, and then like his variations might be he gets the ice clone thing. Another one might, do you understand where at the moment there's no special moves on the character really, and then the variations add all the special moves. Now it's going to be the character's got more versatility to deal with, and that. The other thing, and it goes on a little bit later on in the video. I love the style of him as well, and as he moves, like, they're so good at designing these characters at NRS. The other thing as well is he's got a little bit better combos than most of the cast. It's nice that he's got combo opportunities. The one thing I will say is I'm not too sure about having Fatal Blow on cooldown and giving a Crushing Blow throw. I think Fatal Blows are already very powerful. Like, extremely powerful. So why they'd want to do that is a big yikes for me, but we'll see how it plays out. It might not be that strong. So that's the Joker, kind of in a nutshell, really. There's not really too much that goes on, really, throughout the Joker game. I'm trying to get onto his next variation. Oh, this is what I was talking about, right? So he can cancel his Fatal Blow, and then it actually run cancels, and he can combo. So a lot like MKX, you can run cancel with it. And there's the if it's on cooldown, he gets a Crushing Blow throw. But I do believe he doesn't have them normally. So he doesn't have Crushing Blow throws unless his Fatal Blow's on cooldown. Then he gets one. So it is cool. It's a cool idea. I'm glad that they're experimenting with different concepts of these things. It's always good to bring something new. I don't know if they showed it. This is interesting. So this is probably the one that I'd be looking at along with the third variation. But he's got like a little setup tool where he puts a Jack in the Box on the floor, and it goes into the sky, and if you amplify it, it drops down on their head, and it's actually active. Whereas if you don't amplify it, it's only the box thing, the explosion. You see it's so cool. Honestly, like the stuff they've done is incredible. So they've got that. I really like the little Batman doll. Um, I think they show off the Batman doll a little bit later actually. So this is the third variation now. And first of all, once again, the NRS design team, insane. Well, what a costume! He looks straight out of I don't know. It's well, I can't remember the Mad Max or something. He's crazy. Look at that. Knuckle dusters on him as well. Looks so good. So he has this setup move here, and how cool is this? I mean, even if this doesn't work, just look at it in a fighting game. It's super, super cool. So I will be experimenting with those. Interesting to see whether it's kind of like a bit of a gimmick, not really competitively viable, or whether that's something people will be doing. Oh, I must have missed the Batman. Maybe that's what I skipped. Ah, there it is. So he's got a parry with the doll, which is just a parry, you know. But the thing that scares me is this. If he shows it again, he's just shown it. Will he show it? Yeah. So that's insane. That's four lows for what, 10% damage, and the pushback on it as well. I think he just showed it then. Yeah, there it is. Look, so that's like Deadshot-esque as well. So you do a block string, put it down, go into that, and yeah, that's powerful. The one thing that people will skip on this and they'll go, "Oh my god, that's insane," is he doesn't really have an incredible zoning toolkit to begin with, so it's not going to complement crazy zoning. The other thing that I noticed is I don't know if he's actually got a proper straight gunshot other than the Batman doll. So this Batman doll here, I think he can. I'm pretty sure he holds it and then he can shoot from it. So lots of little nuances. You're gonna see the one thing about this about Joker is you're gonna see they've given him the flexibility that Sonic Fox's Joker will look a lot bit more different than Hey George's Joker, and you know, a lot more different from another player's Joker. You'll be able to tell who's playing this character because he's so versatile, and a lot of the cast don't have that. I mean, look at Johnny for example. If you put Johnny on the screen with no names and said who's playing this Johnny, I'd be like, I don't know, is it Ninja Cat? Nah, I don't. They all play exactly the same, but with Joker you can tell there's going to be a lot of different cancels and little different things that you can do that are gonna make him that way. So overall, super 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 impressed with him. He looks really cool, and that's the Joker. So let's move on to the sort of patch notes. I'm not going to go over the patch notes because I think everybody knows them. I'm just going to go over the stuff that I think's really good. So armor on fatal blow attacks now start up in 8 frames from 5. It's going to be not a huge notice, but it's definitely something that will change a lot of games. Like there'll be some games if you was to take all your past games and put this change in, your win losses will be different. So it's definitely going to impact some situations very heavily, and but in most games you're not going to notice it too much. But it's a positive change overall. This is another one which is absolutely crazy. So they're trying to emphasize flawless block, which I think is a really good mechanic, but also quite boring. I really wish they wouldn't keep sort of putting everything behind this flawless block thing because I just don't think it's entertaining. I don't think people really care too much. Yeah, I'll explain what I mean by it in a second. But yeah, ducking, front punch, kick, and back kick. So this is all your low pokes cannot be cancelled into special move when flawless block. So if you're doing down one rising star with Johnny or anything like that, and you flawless block the down one, it's not going to come out. So he's just negative. So that's a really really good change. But at the same time, it's a change that's put behind this flawless block mechanic, which you're either a person who just wants to playing on it, or you're somebody who likes parrying with Ryu and stuff. You know, like there are some people out there that are just they want to lab all the parries with Ryu and all that lot, and that's what they get their enjoyment out of. I'm not really that kind of person. I like my combos and stuff like that, but this is gonna for some people this is gonna be a big part of their game, and for others they're probably just not gonna do it too much. We'll see how much of an impact that has on the overall meta. So the jumping attacks have all been nerfed. So jump back punch has 5 less frames of block stun on block, What that means, if people don't quite understand, is that the opponent gets put into block stun. If they've got 5 less frames of that block stun, it means their character is active 5 frames sooner, which means basically it's less plus on block. So flawless block as well, there would already have been frames shaved off in flawless block, so there's even more. So flawless blocking jump-ins right now is very strong. Same thing with jump, punch and back punch. They can't be cancelled into air specials when flawless blocked. So if you do like jump kick into, you know, Sindel's hair flip, if it's blocked, can't do the hair flip anymore. It's interesting. It does give characters some auto confirms as well. Jump kicks attacks have increased damage scaling and 4 more frames of recovery when blocked. So again, you can't now just jump kick. You don't care whether it's hit or blocked because it's then your turn and you go for go for your pressure option. You're now gonna have to be careful because if the jump kick's not deep enough, you're gonna lose your turn. I think this is a good change, but I also don't like the fact that they've not buffed anti-airs because fundamentally I really like the idea of if you jump, you get anti-aired. Jumping's a bad thing in this game. Jumping's still like, well, you've not been punished for it, but you might lose your turn. It's still not the perfect solution for me, but it's something. It's something. Same thing about the special move cancels on flawless block. They've removed both front and back crushing blow either option. Once you use one, you can't use the other. So this is a big nerf to all characters that rely on crushing blow throws. I still don't think this is going to do much. I think I rarely ever had 2 crushing blow throws in a game on me. I must admit I didn't play that much, but if you're the type of person that takes the throw and doesn't really go for techs too often, you won't ever see this change. If you do always get tech failed against your opponent, yes, this will, you'll notice that your opponent's not crushing blow throwing you twice as much, but I always usually just have 1 crushing blow throw done on me. So, yeah, I mean, it's obviously a nerf, but how strong of a nerf it is, yet to see. And then it's just some weird sort of like, things. This is a cool one. Love this one. Added several new brutalities for the players to discover. That's a great one. Combat League, minor online stability improvements, fixed several rare online desync issues. So here I'd love to have seen added Wi-Fi network filter. Sadly it's not there yet, but Boone did tweet out, and I know these things don't come straight away, and I also know that NRS are very, very, very good at getting these things. Added new Never Forge recipes to play discover. Now I've highlighted this one just because I went for this Cassie Cage pistol like 50 times, I never got it, and I looked for the recipe online, all that lot. It never worked. I had the recipe in my thing. I always put it in, but I don't know if it's like a chance to get it if you put the right items in, or it's the order you put them in. I think I even tried that. I never got the pistol, so I'm just going to ignore that one. Stage specific stuff. And then they've nerfed Cetrion's teleport to cost 2 bars, which I think's right. I think she needs other changes as well. I think her normals are too good. Aaron Black's been nerfed apparently, but I've not really looked too much into it, but they're saying he's been nerfed. I think Aaron Black's okay, but I'm not too sure. My takeaway from all these general changes is they wanted to nerf Garrus, and they wanted to nerf Johnny for the finals, and everything else, not. I don't think they were that massively bothered. They're like quality of life changes, most of them. So I'm not going to go over them because I really don't think this is the patch. I'm hoping this isn't the patch because Scarlet's blood pot's now 2 bars, and for me, Scarlet, like if you was asking me on a tier list, I've got Scarlet like mid bottom tier. Like she might be bottom 5, bottom 10 for me in the game right now, just because her offense is just so poor. Like so many gaps, so many ways to blow her up. It's she kind of has to guess every time she goes on offense. So it's kind of one of those things. Yeah, there he is. Kitty. Get him in the camera. Kitty, kitty. That's Link. Looks like he wants to claw my face off. Oh, so we've done that. So Yeah, so I don't think this is the big patch. I think this is just. I hope it's not. I really hope it's not. I'm hoping after the finals, there's a big patch. The Frost one's interesting for me, obviously being an ex Cyrax player, but the problem with this is, although it's amazing that they're giving her some new combo things, she's got insane grab damage now. The issue with this is it needs its hit region increasing to at least that of what Cyrax bombs were in MKX, because it's or Cyber Sub Zero, because at the moment it's just not good enough. Like it's not good enough. You just can't use this variation. It's just not a good enough variation. But outside of that, I'm really glad that they are looking into it, and they are doing things. But again, as I said before, I just don't think this is the big patch at all. I'm expecting one after the finals are done and dusted. My thoughts on the patch overall is it's a bit of a non-event really. It's a lot of the stuff that's in there should have been hot fixed midway into the season. I think there's some players that are really going to struggle with the jumping changes. So there are some players, don't want to obviously name names, but when you watch them, their whole game plan pre-patch was to just jump and get that jump kick blocked, and then go for a mid throw pressure. I don't know what they're gonna do now, because if it is what it says it is, that they're gonna really struggle, because it's not their turn anymore. Opponents are just gonna block and then take their turn. So whole game plans, like, it's a massive patch if you're that kind of player. It's a massive patch if you don't play the other variations of Garrus, although his other variations are silly. And it's a pretty big patch for Johnny, but I don't think he's changed too much. So that's my thoughts on the Joker and the patch that's out. Looking forward to the finals. I'm obviously looking forward to Spawn as well. Fantastic job on the Joker, but I'm just, my issue with patches like this, and you can't get hyped for it because it's not gonna bring anyone. No one's coming back to the game for this patch. A few people might come back for Joker just because they like the look of him, but I don't see it. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.